Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, my name is Nicole and I'm a part-time reseller on POSHMARK. Today I want to talk about a topic that is kind of on a lot of people's minds this summer especially. I've seen a lot of people say they haven't made sales in several weeks, several months, and they're gonna quit the platform and they don't know what they're doing wrong. And you know, there's so many things that I recommend doing that I kind of sound like a broken record for on this channel. And I'm not sure if those people are following those tips or you know what, because I feel like most of the time you go to someone's closet and they've only shared once in the last month and you're like, that's why you're not making daily sales. And I feel like people don't understand how important certain things are to do on the platform. It's not just as simple as listing and hoping the items are going to sell. So I wanted to make a video today that's going to kind of basically go through some points that I think are just so essential that you have to be doing in order to get those daily sales. And if you're not doing these things, it's going to be very hard to get those daily consistent sales on the platform, which in turn is exactly why either your closet is slow or someone you know's closet is slow, because these things will definitely amplify the slowness if you don't do them. So hopefully you find this video helpful and hopefully you like these tips, and make sure that you're subscribed so you never miss a future video that I do here on this channel. Okay, the first one that I want to start out with is there's not really a perfect way to go about reselling. You just have to trust your own gut and do what you think is going to be best. So that means get the inventory that you think is going to sell. Don't be afraid to try new brands. You don't have to do exactly what everybody else is doing. There's no right and wrong way, but you just need to go with it and make a plan. And if you need to make a new plan as you go, totally do that, because I've readjusted over the years as I've gotten further into reselling. I've done things in the beginning that aren't working for me now, and so you just have to be willing to adjust with the time. But just do your own thing. It's going to work better for you than trying to copy what somebody else is doing just because they're having success. The next thing that's really important is to make sure that you're being consistent with everything that you do. And that is really, really crucial for Poshmark specifically. You have to be consistent on the platform. So what I mean by consistent is making sure you're sharing it every single day, make sure you're listing every single day, make sure you're active and following people and supporting people in the community every single day. You don't want to not be active on the platform. You don't want to not be sharing or not be listing, because again, those have an impact. I can't recommend enough how important it is to be active, to be listing, and doing everything consistently. It really is key, and Poshmark does reward those who are consistent. So you have to be consistent with it. And I even recommend going as far as listing the same amount of items every day. But again, if you don't have a consistent amount that you can list, that's totally fine too. But I try and be consistent with it because I also find that just brings consistent sales. So I do 5 items every single day. I might even up that next month to 10 items every day. Again, you have to just be consistent with whatever you pick, and that's gonna be the best. You don't want to list 7 in one day and then nothing for the rest of the week. You need to be spaced out and do the same thing every day. So if you only have 7 items for the week to list, then do 1 a day. That is better than doing 7 in one day and nothing the rest of the week. The next thing that is so crucial and something that you don't want to forget about is always list that death pile before it piles up and becomes even bigger, before you go out and buy new stuff. I know I'm guilty of this myself, because currently I have 7 big garbage bags full next to me of stuff, but then I have 4 giant Rubbermaid bins in my office full of stuff to list as well. And it's starting to get out of hand, and it's just a little crazy. I really don't know why I thought that was a good idea to get that much, but you need to keep up with the listings before you just go out and buy new things, because you're not going to be motivated to want to list, and it's just going to feel exhausting. The next thing that is so important, I briefly touched on it in the first tip, but it's just to list every day. And honestly, it's the hardest thing to do is just to get started. But once you list that first item of the day, it does get easier. You just got to power through. And I can't stress enough how important it is to be doing that daily. And again, I see so many people that say they don't have time to list daily, or they don't have the inventory, or whatever the case may be. Saying you don't have time is not a good enough excuse, because you can have a drafts folder that's full of 50 items, and I take advantage of that. I load it up in the beginning of each week, and then I'm ready to go with my items ready to list each day. And again, if you say you don't have enough to list, that probably means that you're not listing enough to begin with. So it means that you need to get more inventory to really get those consistent sales. You're not going to get consistent sales if you're not listing daily, and you're not going to get sales if you're not adding more items for people to pick from. The next tip that that is crucial that I swear by is list higher than you actually expect to get for the sale, because you want to make sure you have room for offers or for people to send you offers or for you to lower the price. And if you're pricing at exactly what price point you were hoping to get for the item, that's not going to leave anyone a buffer to send you an offer, for you to send offers or anything like that. So price a little bit higher. It doesn't scare people away as long as you're reasonably priced. If you are way above the budget and you're like pricing extremely high, then just know that that will hurt you. But if you price a little slightly over, maybe $5 to $10 over what you expected to get for the item, that would be great, and that will benefit you in terms of being able to make those offers or get those offers. And it's not going to hurt as bad if someone does send you an offer on the item. So never price at exactly what you hope to sell the item for. And also, I mentioned this in the prior video, but make sure you're pricing on those increments that are going to show up in the double search. So that would be the 25 mark, the 50 mark, and the 100 mark. These are really crucial because, again, it will show up on double search, so it's just going to amplify the amount of visibility that you're going to get on your listings. And something that's crucial to remember, especially when it's slow, is it's okay to accept those low offers sometimes. As long as you're making a profit on the item and as long as you're okay with getting rid of the item. I mean, there have been so many times where I've had an item that was sitting for years and I just wanted to get rid of it and I would have accepted any price. And sometimes I'm even willing to take a loss on an item if it's just been way too long. I have taken a loss on a couple items, but at the end of the day, I'm still making a profit on all of the items. So it kind of balances out if I take, a loss on one item here and there. But again, you can't be afraid to accept those low offers sometimes because they're not as bad as you seem. And kind of sometimes when you accept an offer, it just kind of gets the momentum working for you. I've actually realized that once I started accepting offers daily, and once I started really, sending those offers daily, I started getting more and more coming in all at once. So it's just crucial to, especially during the summer slowdown and especially when it's slow on the platform, it's important to be accepting those offers, even if they seem low. If you're making a profit, totally fine, just accept it, move on, and then you could always sell something better going forward. But don't be afraid to accept low offers sometimes because it really just helps get the momentum coming into your closet. And regarding offers, always counter back, never decline, because I found when you decline, you're actually just eliminating the chance of even making the sale at all, because you're basically saying, hey, I'm not interested in working with you in the slightest. And I see so many people that get offended when they get a low offer and they immediately block people, and then they say, well, I'm not gonna waste my time counting back and forth if someone doesn't want to meet me in the middle. And really, you'll know right off the bat if they want to meet you in the middle or not. But my rule of thumb is always counter, and if they don't want to meet me in the middle, then they'll just, leave my offer on red, or they just won't answer it. But if you decline the offer and shut that down, you're not gonna be able to work with that buyer, and the buyer's probably not gonna want to work with you either because you kind of just shut them out. So for me, I just find it to be pointless to decline. I always find it to be important to counter or accept. And same thing too, some people are like, well, why would I counter someone that sent me a low ball offer? They're clearly not interested in meeting me in the middle. And I'm gonna have to disagree with that because I've had several times where someone sent me a really low offer and I couldn't accept it for that price point. So I ended up countering somewhere in the middle, and then they actually accepted. So not everyone that sends a low ball offer is actually just trying to rob you. You never really know. Some people are just trying to get a good deal. Another thing too, if you're feeling the lack of motivation to get listing and things like that, maybe try and list those easier items first just to get the ball going, just to get motivated. And then once you do that, it'll be easier to get going on those harder pieces. I always try and do that. I always try to find those easier pieces that aren't super complex to list and that aren't gonna need as many photos. And then it's just oh, I'm already in it, so now I'm just gonna keep going with those harder items. It just kind of makes you feel a little bit motivated. So if you are struggling to be motivated to get listing, then maybe start with that. Maybe start with those items that are easier, and it should get easier for you to actually continue to list. Okay, I'm actually gonna stop the video here because this is getting a little bit long, but I'm definitely gonna make a part 2 to this because I have a bunch more tips that I think are really crucial and that are gonna help you, especially with these summer slowdown months, on ensuring that you get some sales and that you keep your closet alive, because again, these are things that I find really important to do, and some people forget to do them. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see the part 2 to this, make sure that you're subscribed because that's going to be coming shortly after this one. If you want to see another video on some hidden features on Poshmark that maybe you didn't know how to do, like such as sending a bundle offer or just sending a bundle to begin with, because so many people, you'd be surprised, don't know how to bundle an item. If you want to see that video, you could click right here. And if you want to see another video on reasons why your listings aren't selling and what you can do to fix those, I have a lot of great videos on tips that you can do. You could click right here. But until next time, I will see you then.